I was standing in the kitchen, cradling my coffee like it was the only thing keeping me steady, when her tablet lit up. Madison was still upstairs, the shower running, probably rinsing her hair with that coconut shampoo she insisted on ordering from some overpriced boutique. She never rushed anything. Not her mornings, not her lies. The message preview glowed on the screen. Send another $5,000 to 000, or your husband finds out your dirty little secret. My hand went still. I didn't touch the tablet. I didn't make a sound. I just stared at the screen like it had slapped me. Then it buzzed again. Don't test me, Madison. I have photos. I set the coffee down so hard it splashed. My breath didn't come back for several seconds. I'm Captain Drew Holstead, 41 years old, 17 years in the Army. Logistics Command. I've spent months in the field running supply lines through hostile zones. I've read intercepted letters between double agents and decoded hostile transmissions in war zones. But nothing prepared me for this. Earlier that morning, I'd noticed the drop in our joint account. $5,000 gone. Madison had brushed it off. Just helping Sarah with rent, she said, avoiding eye contact. Thing is, we don't know a Sarah. I didn't say anything. Not then, but I'd felt something shift. Something off in her tone, like her voice was wrapped in static. I walked upstairs like nothing happened, kissed her temple through the steam as she dried her hair. She smiled. That same innocent, polished smile she always gave me when she wanted to be believed. I smiled back, but inside me, something had cracked open. Something cold and calculating. I knew I couldn't ask her about the tablet. Not yet. So I started my own investigation. Quiet, methodical, tactical. That night, while she fell asleep watching Netflix beside me, I got out of bed, slipped into my office, and pulled up 6 months of bank statements. I wasn't looking for one answer. I was hunting for a pattern, and I found it. Withdrawals in round numbers, payments labeled invoice, services with no receipts, transfers to accounts with no link names. She had made herself a little side operation, and I had no idea what she was buying or who she was paying, but I was going to find out. By the third night, I had a color-coded spreadsheet, a burner phone, and a decision I never thought I'd have to make about my own wife. Madison wasn't just lying. She was organized about it. There was a rhythm to the cash withdrawals. Twice a week. Same days. Same amounts. I cross-referenced the timestamps with her texts. That's when I saw it. Heading out with the girls. Wine night again, lol. You'd be bored. It's just as talking trash about husbands. She always had an excuse for why she didn't want me tagging along. Girl time, she called it. But my gut had flipped into full tactical mode. You don't ignore your instincts when you've led supply chains through ambush zones. You listen when something smells wrong. So I started tracking her movements. Quietly, I ordered a GPS tracker, the kind you slip onto a keychain and never think about again. It looked like a fancy AirTag knockoff. I attached it to her keys while she was in the shower. That night, she said she was heading to Claire's house for wine and gossip. I nodded. Tell Claire I said hi. She leaned in, kissed my cheek like nothing had changed. Like she wasn't becoming a stranger right in front of me. I waited 20 minutes after she left. Then I opened the tracker app. She was nowhere near Claire's neighborhood. She was downtown, parked off the expressway near one of those cheap no-tell motels with hourly rates and paper-thin walls. She stayed there for exactly 84 minutes. Then she drove to a convenience store, picked up wine and ice cream, and came home like nothing had happened. She curled up next to me on the couch, laughing at some reality show, feeding me a spoonful of cookie dough ice cream. Her mascara was perfect. Her lies were seamless. But I had proof now, and I wasn't going to ask. I wasn't going to shout or cry or beg her to tell me the truth. I was going to confirm it, piece by piece, with evidence no one could deny, because whatever this was, it wasn't just infidelity. It was calculated, controlled, and expensive. So the next day, I followed her. I sat in my truck 2 blocks away as she pulled into that same motel parking lot. Same spot, same time, but this time, I had binoculars and the man who met her at the door. I recognized him, Kyle Tripp. Married, civilian liaison for a defense contractor I'd worked with on a joint project 6 months ago. He kissed her like it was routine. And just like that, I had my answer. I didn't blink, didn't flinch, I just watched through the glass as Madison slipped into that motel room with Kyle Tripp like she'd done it 100 times before. He wasn't some stranger. He was someone I'd briefed in secure rooms, someone I'd shaken hands with, someone I'd trusted to handle classified supply manifests well. Our men were deployed. Now he was pressing his mouth against my wife's like he owned her. I gripped the steering wheel so hard my knuckles cracked, but I didn't move. Not yet. Emotion gets people killed in combat. Same principle here. I wasn't here to scream or punch someone out in a parking lot. I was here to learn. So I waited. 2 hours. I watched the room, noted the time she left, the angle she checked her reflection in the car mirror, the little smile she wore when she texted me, still at Claire's. This girl talks a mile a minute. Liar. That night, while she showered, I bribed the front desk clerk at the motel. $100 and a made-up story about my brother cheating with someone's wife got me everything I needed. Room records, surveillance footage, credit card slips. She hadn't even used cash. The clerk handed me a manila envelope, shaking his head. Man, they've been coming here for months. I thanked him and walked out like my boots weren't made of concrete. Back home, she was lighting candles. She'd ordered Thai food. Her robe hung low on her shoulder like we were in some movie. I kissed her forehead and pretended not to taste the lie on her skin. That night I couldn't sleep. I sat in my office, staring at the folder. Photos, dates, receipts, her entire deception catalog like an op plan. And Kyle, he was just the surface. His wife, Serena Tripp, had a social media presence like a politician's wife. Always poised, always curated. But her captions had changed lately, darker, bitter, posts like, "Some betrayals cut deeper than knives. Some husbands lie with a smile. Ever feel like you're just the last to know?" One post had her standing beside a brand new Audi. Caption read, "Nothing screams freedom like a payout." Something clicked. I pulled up the blackmail message from Madison's tablet. The number, the local code, the timing. And I realized what I was looking at wasn't just an affair. It was revenge. Serena wasn't some clueless spouse. She was the one sending the threats.